Bien, alors bonjour à tous. Merci d'avoir été matinal pour nous rejoindre ce matin et pour ce moment important qui est une session spéciale qui est dédicacée aux startups. Bienvenue à ceux qui ne connaissent pas le Palais des Nations. Vous y êtes et vous aurez peut-être l'occasion après de vous y promener. Et en plus, je voulais vous expliquer en 2 mots, la commission Sciences et Technologies pour le développement, qui est celle qui se réunit depuis hier et qui se réunira encore tout à l'heure, est une commission dédicacée au fait que la science et la technologie ne sont pas seulement une théorie ou un travail pour les scientifiques, mais ça n'a du sens que si ça sert le développement. Et c'est vraiment en ce sens que nous essayons de faire avancer ce thème. Les présentations se feront essentiellement en anglais, mais comme nous sommes nombreux à parler français dans cette salle, n'hésitez pas, si vous prenez la parole, à prendre la parole en français. On va se comprendre et il y aura un peu de traduction pour ceux pour qui c'est difficile. So I'm very happy to welcome this dynamic session jointly organized by Solar Impulse Foundation with Bertrand Piccard and with the UN Body for Trade and Development, United Nations Conference for Trade and Development. So our objective this morning is really to debate how the private sector could help and how especially or precisely the role of the startups in addressing the development challenge and discuss how startups could concretely participate and contribute by providing innovative technological solutions. That's the goal of today. So it's the second day of the CSTD, Commission for Science and Technology for Development, and we will hear how innovation and technology can be put at the service of development. So we know that startups, from one side, contribute to development goals by proposing concrete solutions such as, for instance, energy storage or clean, affordable energy. But government, on the other side, can play a crucial role in innovation and technology deployment. They have to support and create an enabling environment through policies and incentives that promote greater investment and help technologies to reach markets. So I'm deeply convinced as UNCTAD that development challenge will only be addressed and SDG will only be met if all actors roll up their sleeves and if we create links, as we are doing today, between the various actors and the various expertise. So, you will hear now His Excellency Mr. Olopeng, Minister of Tertiary Education, Research, Science and Technology of Botswana. And I welcome him very warmly today. And he will share with us the experience of his country in counting on startup in order to help and to contribute to development. After that, after the Minister, we will listen to Dr. Piccard, Bertrand Piccard, whom all you have followed his solar plane record, of course, and he will explain his intense work with startup over the world. And finally, Akaliza, she's there. Akaliza, we will listen to the Akaliza story, who is a successful entrepreneur from Rwanda, and she's also a member of the UN Secretary General high-level panel on digital cooperation, which is really an important issue for the UN. And after that, our panelists, we will have, and they are there waiting for the floor, or picture 5 startups offering innovative solutions that could be adopted by the CSTD countries. So that's their day today to pitch briefly, dynamically about what they are doing. So first of all, Mr. the Minister, I give you the floor for your short presentation.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary General. Thank you very much. Just to share, a bit of experience on how we deal with startups in our country. In recognition of how startups or small businesses contribute to the GDP, government has taken a deliberate decision to come up with policies, to support small and medium enterprises in the country. The first thing that we had to look into was to create an environment, a conducive environment, for small businesses. We have various programs that assist, small businesses to, to start in the country. And within our policies, we have reservations where, startups are given preference over, long-term existing businesses. We also have capital seed, seed capital, for startups, where we give small businesses, particularly owned by the youth, grants. We have grants. Some of them are grants, part loans, where it's 50% grant and it's 50% loan. This is to try and assist, our young innovators, to come into the, commercial space. So we also have a policy of science, research, science and technology and innovation that was approved by Parliament in 2012. The policy commits to support demand-driven research with the private sector playing a vital role in supporting, the startups. We have other entities like Botswana Institute of Technology and Research that also carries out some research on how to come up some technological programs or projects that could be used, in assisting, our young innovators, to start. We take time to monitor the environment because, Botswana, it's a, small populated country. Our population is only 2 million. So we obviously have, small markets. So we make sure that with all the preferences that we give to startups, that we keep on monitoring such, such environment to make sure that there is sustainability and there's also, support for, for the market. So we have another prestator, which is the Botswana Innovation Hub. They also mentor, the young businesses within the environment. I have a couple of examples to give. We have one entity. They call themselves My Foodness. It's a local online food delivery company using online payments platforms and geographic positioning systems. So this is one of the successful stories that we have from Botswana. They actually represented us here in Geneva. As one of the success stories that came from our country. There's another one, they call themselves These Hands. It's a social enterprise that operates rural innovation centers that promote local innovation for local challenges using locally available material. A number of the prototypes have been developed, including the deep sand wheelchair. So, what we encourage our young startups to do is to look at the environment, within the country and find a niche on where, they could focus and be successful. So there's a lot that government is doing really to support startups because it is our belief that they can assist in creating employment within the country and also, contributing more into the GDP. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. the Minister of Botswana. You spoke about mentoring. And mentoring, that's something that Bertrand Piccard knows very well and is doing intensively. So, je donne la parole à Bertrand Piccard pour nous parler de sa façon de voir le mentoring. Et je pense qu'il va parler debout. Oui, je n'en doute pas. Voilà.
Good morning to everybody, and thank you very much, Isabelle, for organizing this event together with my team. In the 1950s, with 2 or 3 billion people on this planet, quantitative growth was feasible. Today, with 8 billion, quantitative growth is impossible. We need to shift to qualitative growth, which means that instead of having more of everything to provide the income, we have to get the income from replacing what is polluting by something clean and efficient. It's the biggest market of the century. Replacing combustion engines, inefficient heating, cooling, or lighting systems, insulating houses, introducing a smart grid, renewable energies, new industrial process, new ways to treat the waste, circular economy, new type of agriculture. All this is the challenge of the 21st century. So you see that in the rich countries, it will be more difficult to do than in the poorest countries. Because in the rich countries, we have to fight against the old state of mind. The old state of mind that makes us believe that to have more money, we have to produce more, waste more, and destroy the environment more. In the poor countries today, there is a huge advantage, is that we can start with novelty, with innovation, not fighting against an old state of mind, but using the state of mind that wishes to develop and to create a better society in order to succeed. So I think it's a really good place at UNCTAD to speak about what the startups, what the innovation, what the scientific inventions can bring to society. But at this point, we have to be quite clear. If it is expensive to protect the environment, if it is expensive to replace what exists by something new, if it is expensive to bring a new innovation on the market, it will not work. We need the profitability. So it's not a question of being in the wishful thinking world that says that we have to protect the environment whatever is the cost, because in the philosophy, I think it works, but in the reality, it does not work. It needs to be profitable. So we have decided with the Solar Impulse Foundation, and this is why we have this partnership with UNCTAD, to identify and select everywhere in the world the startups, all the big companies, but let's say in general, all the innovations that can protect the environment in a profitable way. That means that will bring a better quality of life, that will support development, that will support the purchase power of the people, who will support the industry, but only in the field of what will protect the environment, be good for the planet, and be good for the population. And what we have noticed at the Solar Impulse Foundation is the enormous number of solutions that exist. Enormous. You have solutions everywhere, absolutely everywhere, but at different levels. Sometimes it's big companies who introduce a new industrial process that saves 30% of energy to create a new product. But sometimes it's a small startup in a developing country. This is what we'd like to support. So what we do is that we select these solutions in what we have called the World Alliance for Efficient Solutions. All the innovators, all the people who are interested in implementing these innovations, or all the people who are investing in innovation are welcome in the World Alliance for Efficient Solutions. And from there, the solutions are submitted to independent experts who are assessing the solutions. And at the end, if the solution is credible, if it protects the environment, and if it is profitable, it gets the label of the Solar Impulse Foundation. And why do we have that? We have that because we want to demonstrate to the heads of state, to the governments, to big companies, to large institutions, demonstrate that the targets to protect the environment, the standards, the energy policy, can be much more ambitious. Today, the targets are not ambitious. We can do much better than the Paris Agreement. We can do much better than most of the countries are doing. Because the solutions exist, because they create jobs, and they make profit, and they protect the environment. And you will hear me saying that several times, because it takes such a long time for key decision makers to understand that protection of the environment is a market. It is profitable, it creates jobs, it will increase the quality of life of the population. So you will see, after the first round of speeches, 6 startups who have been selected by the Solar Impulse Foundation and who have the label and will show you how their invention can help for development. We have very often in the northern countries the impression that we have to come with a huge solutions, with massive investments, with global level for entire continent. No, we don't need that. Sometimes, yes, of course, but very often not. When you have in one village who has no access to electricity, a solar panel with the energy being sold to people who charge their phone, who charge a battery for their lamp to get back home and have a light in their house in the evening, you change the life of a village completely. And not just because they have light and they have a smartphone, but they have a local economy. Because people can buy energy, use it, create jobs, and make profit. So for us, in Switzerland, where everything is taken for granted, we just cannot imagine how a solar panel, a battery, a phone, and a light bulb can change the life of hundreds of people. But it does. And this is what we have to understand. Innovation is not just about inventing something somewhere and try to implement it elsewhere. Innovation is also to listen to the need of the people locally. What do they need? And how can we help them to develop what they need? It's not always a transfer of technology. It is sometimes a transfer of compassion. This is really important. Compassion. Understand the life of other people and use our knowledge or our money or our state of mind to support it. It is clear that the development of the startups in the developing countries will not be possible if the governments don't take their responsibility. It is very clear that the development of countries with human rights and no corruption will be much faster. Much faster. If you have no corruption, you will have foreign investments much sooner. The local startups will be will receive much more incentive to bring their solutions to the market. And the consumers will understand that it can become theirs. So it's not only the startups who are going to change the world. It's the link between the key decision makers and the innovators. One way to address it and to support it is to show that it is profitable to protect the environment. And here I think it's the 4th or 5th time I say it. I really want you to remember it. And like this, you will understand through all the pictures the future that is shown today. We think it's the future. We think this is how things will happen in the past. But you know why it's the future for us? Just because we are in the past today. were in the past with very old technologies. And we are very proud in the rich countries to have all this amount of energy available. But we are using dirty sources of energy, we're destroying the planet, and our systems are outdated and inefficient. The world today needs efficient and clean and profitable solutions. They exist, and I think with this type of event, we can really spread the word, and you can be the ambassadors of this state of mind. It's not enough just to be here, listen to startups and say, oh, yes, yes, good, quite nice, we can do something. No, you have to be the ambassadors, going back in your countries, going back in your institution, going back in your companies, and say, this is our role, this is what we can support. This is how we can make a better world. So thank you for organizing this, and I think we can do an interesting 1-hour session this morning. Thank you very much.
Merci Bertrand pour cette dynamique mise en bouche par rapport aux startups. Vous avez fait allusion aux petites et aux plus grandes entreprises. I would like to make the link with a presentation of yesterday afternoon with the Indian Institute for Technology and Development, who presented a way to organize for 20 million of Indian people, so it's not it's a big amount of people, with Tata, the big enterprise in India, to really provide electricity through solar panel and solar panel in the village. So I think that there are, of course, a link between what we are doing in the CSTD, or side event of yesterday, of today, or this evening with Mr. Richard Baldwin. So now I give the floor to Akaliza. And Akaliza, she's entrepreneur in Rwanda, and she will explain her experience. She's also a member of the high-level panel of digital cooperation from the UN. Akaliza, you have the floor.
Thank you very much.
Press the button.
Thank you. So briefly, I'll share my story as a young entrepreneur, and also a bit on the story of Rwanda and why I think it's so important to invest in startups, and more importantly, to try and create a startup culture in developing countries. So I became an entrepreneur by accident. Like many young people, when I graduated, I wanted to get a job. I applied to probably hundreds of companies in Rwanda and also outside of Rwanda. And while I was waiting to hear back, an aunt of mine needed a website and some training for her staff. So I took on this consultancy to do this for her, and I got a taste of business. I got a taste of what it's like to work for myself, to be paid not for the number of hours I had sat in the office, but for something I had delivered, and to only be paid when I had delivered that product. So I really enjoyed the experience, and as a result, I continued down that path. During my time as a consultant and entrepreneur, I've also trained many other young people. My background is in multimedia, so I do websites, graphic design, and that kind of work, and I've trained many other young Rwandans. I try to always work with students, university students, or high school graduates, and to give them the opportunity which I also received as a young person. So in Rwanda, we're quite blessed to have a society that very much believes in our government and has trust in our government, which is not the case in other parts of the developing world. So this has some benefits, but it also has some disadvantages. When I speak to a lot of young people, they have this attitude of the government has to give me a job, the government has to give me this, and they have this attitude of kind of looking at the government as a parental figure almost. So obviously the government can't employ all the young people of Rwanda. So what is trying to be created now is this startup culture. We, like the minister from Botswana also explained, creating spaces for young entrepreneurs to come and share their ideas, to meet each other, to be inspired by each other, and to not think I have to wait until I get a job, as I was once doing, but to think I can start doing something now. And another reason I think it's very important to create this culture, to invest in young startups, is it's not just the jobs that they create when they start these businesses. It's when other young people see them, it changes their attitude towards their own situation. When you see another young person who's managed to successfully create a job for themselves, it allows you to take that initiative as well. It sort of gives you permission to think the only way forward is not to get a job in a big company or in a government institution. And so I think it's a very valuable investment that you can make in a developing nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akaliza, for this presentation of the daily life of a young entrepreneur in Rwanda or everywhere in the world. We are not to wait for the government. Probably a lot of people have to start, but it's not so easy to start. So, petit détail, if you are not hearing very well, because technologically maybe we can do better regarding sound, you can also use that. I say that for the people not used to this room, you can use that and put that in order to hear better what is said on the desk. So now I will give the floor to the startup because it's you place. So nous avons avec nous quelques startups, 5 en l'occurrence, certaines des Europe, d'autres l'Afrique. And then I will now give the floor to Ecotech Seram from France, providing sustainable heat storage solution for secure, clean, and efficient energy. So I give the floor and the mic is there.
Thank you. I could begin my talk by reminding you how far we are from our objectives in terms of protecting the environment in the broadest sense, but I think that you already know that quite well, and I'm not sure that this will help us to move forward. So I'm very glad to be here today to talk to you about a profitable and sustainable solution that we developed to store and valorize energy. This solution called EcoStock has been labelized last year by the Solar Impulse Foundation. Next one. Has a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'll let you with that small video to explain what I'm talking about. This is quite clean fumes up to 1,000 degrees C, directly dumped into the environment. So you saw with this quite hard-on music what is our solution that we call EcoStock, and that we made the demonstration this year, and this demonstration has proven that a cycle one use of the EcoStock can avoid the consumption of 1 oil barrel and avoid the emission of around 500 kilograms of CO2 with an efficiency up to more than 90%. So you can also see that it's has been designed as a standard mobile and plug-and-play solution with materials coming from circular economy inside. Next one. This demonstration allowed us to make our first sale also this year to a tile producer, as we can see here. So 2 EcoStock units will recover the heat contained in the fumes of the furnace, and this heat can be used later to dry tiles before cooking, avoiding the emission of 1,000 tons of CO2 by year, and allowing saving of about 50,000 euro by year too. So, as Bertrand Piccard said, it's a sustainable and profitable solution. This solution is being constructed today and will be commissioned by the beginning of June. Here are the application, the Ecotech Serum application of the 17 SDGs. And we are very glad to announce that Ecotech Serum is a founding member of the World Alliance for Efficient Solutions, as we can see in the picture of the COP23 Constituting Assembly. And thanks to Bertrand, I'm very glad also to say that Akio Energy, the French the leader of independent leader of renewable productions, has invested in our society, allowing us to go further. So we will be grateful for that a long time. Thank you, Bertrand. Akio Energy also develops quickly deployable solutions to provide electricity in remote areas that we could combine with our mobile solution and to quickly answer needs in terms of electricity, decarbonized heat, steam, or to desalinate water also. So the UN is working for better satisfy the human being needs. And I think that with Ecotech Serum, Akio Energy, and more with the Solar Impulse Foundation, we've got solution to help you in your action. So let's go further together. Thank you very much.
So, thank you to Ecotech Serum. And now I give the floor to Purifier from Uganda. Locally produce water filters that both supply sustainable, safe drinking water and reduce carbon emission. So, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Yin, and I'm here to represent on behalf of Spouts. I'm going to start off with a short and brief video. Great, thank you. I'm sure you all know today there are 2.1 billion people in the world without access to safe and clean drinking water. And I'm here today to share with you on how Spouts is one of those solutions to tackle this issue. Spouts is a social venture that manufactures and distributes ceramic water filters in Uganda. That's a cost-efficient, sustainable, and environmental friendly option to treat your water. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail on the problem. There are over 44 million people in Uganda. 44% of these people are boiling their water to drink, using firewood or charcoal, which is not environmentally friendly. Excuse me. And then more than the other half is just drinking their water untreated, bringing about waterborne illnesses like typhoid, cholera, diarrhea. It also brings about negative ramifications, kind of listed to the right. I want to highlight a couple. One is in health. Dirty drinking water is the #2 killer in children under the age of 5. This is more than malaria and AIDS. And then also from the environment, 360 million tons of CO2 are emitted each year from boiling. And this is our solution. We actually have two solutions. Trying to diversify our product line later this year, we'll have three. But the one on the left is our regular purifier. It's 20 liters, and it can filter enough water for a family of up to 10. On the right, we have our 65-liter version, our Purifier XL. That's 65 liters, and then can serve up to 50 people. The one on the right, targeted more towards public institutions like schools and health centers. And then kind of highlighting our technology, the Purifier technology. One is that it's very effective. It removes over 99.9% of bacteria. So you can put in any type of water, river water, rainwater, sewage water, and then it will filter it into clean water. It's convenience. We started our project in 2012. We had over 3 years of R&D experience in Uganda, and we sold our first filter in 2015. In those 3 years, we really tried to test the market, learn about what would be something that Ugandans will use on a daily basis. It's very cost efficient. Since we use locally sourced materials in Uganda, and our factories in Uganda, we're about a third of the price of other imported filters with the same effectiveness. And then also it's sustainable. We're very integrated into the local economy. As of now, we have over 90 employees at Spouts in Uganda, and many of them, over 85 of them, are local Ugandans. To end this presentation, I kind of want to highlight our impact so far. Since we sold our first filter in 2015, we've sold over 38,000 with an increase in sales each year, highlighting the profitability standpoint. And we're forecasting to sell over 23,000 just this year. So the market's really picking up. People want this easy, convenient, cost-efficient solution. As a result, we've impacted over 220,000, almost 250,000 end users by providing them with long-term access to clean and safe drinking water. And then lastly, from an environmentally perspective, we reduced carbon emissions by almost 120,000 metric tons, which is equivalent to 100,000 passenger vehicles here in Switzerland being driven for 1 year. And this is just the start. We sold our first filter in 2015, but we're really excited for what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you. So, from Uganda, we come back to Switzerland, and I give the floor to Highlight, specialized in refillable iron battery, providing clean, affordable, and on-demand energy for off-grid communities. So, you have the floor.
Hello everyone. I think I'm going to start with the video as well. Okay, I think there's not enough stressing how much energy is a problem today. There's roughly 1 billion people worldwide who do not have access to the grid, and most of these people live on $2 per day. According to recent statistics, 600 million of them live in sub-Saharan Africa, and despite what people who are not familiar with those areas might think, 90% of them own smart mobile phones, and there's a big market of smartphones that's developing at the moment. These people, they usually spend up to 100 times more money on energy than what we people in developed countries such as Switzerland spend in absolute terms. Our solution to tackle this issue was to develop a small battery that you can see on the screen and that you saw before in the video that is charged not by being plugged to the grid, but by adding consumables inside the battery to charge it. The advantage of the consumables is that those areas where they need energy the most, they're obviously not connected to the grid and they need alternatives. The advantage of these consumables are that they are clean and cheap. They're made of iron. Iron is a very abundant material on Earth. It's actually not non-alkaline, unlike lithium or lead, thereby not polluting when being used. With our technology, we can actually, so with one dose of consumables, we can actually charge a mobile phone completely, and we can also power an LED lamp for 5 hours, which corresponds more or less to a daily need or a nightly need. There's a vast demand, as I said. 600 million people of those people who need this technology are found in sub-Saharan Africa, usually in rural areas. And our focus at the moment is Tanzania. Not to say that this is our only focus, but we have contacts there, and that's where we are planning on starting commercialization. Basically, we're going to do a pilot sale in the coming weeks. I have a colleague now that is in the Arusha region to set up the process. Our model is basically people buy this battery that you can see that's connected with a lamp, and then they can acquire consumables at an affordable price on a regular basis. The prices you see there are based on field tests and field research we did in the Tanzanian market last year. Basically, what we have with this solution is that it's affordable, it's clean, and it provides energy on demand. Most people who need to charge their phones in rural areas now, they have to walk several miles to go to the closest charging kiosks. And this is something we want to prevent, and we want to help people have these energy solutions at home. Our impact by using this technology, we believe, is quite high. We can help people save up to $40 a year, and bear in mind that it's usually we're talking about people who live with $2 per day, so this is quite a dramatic, significant difference. And also in terms of CO2 emission, the big use of the main technology being used now for lighting in rural areas are kerosene lamps. And if you've ever been around a kerosene lamp, you know how much it pollutes, you know how bad an effect it has on health. And our goal is ultimately to substitute these lamps with something that's cleaner. And we believe that with our technology we could save up to 170 kilograms of CO2 emissions equivalent per year, just with one battery per household. This is my team. So Bertrand Piccard is a French engineer. He's today in Tanzania, and he's actually working to start our pilot sale. We're planning to commercialize this year. David is the engineer behind the technology. He studied here in Switzerland at EPFL. Myself, I'm Jonathan Fiorentini, and we have two advisors who helped us a lot in the development of the technology. We have received quite a lot of support, and I'd like to mention, of course, the Solar Impulse Foundation that helped us to develop our network, and actually thanks to them that we can be here. So thanks a lot for your attention. I would love to talk about this with you if you have time and if you're interested afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we go to Isabelle from France, and it's about a turbine deployed on the sea to capture energy from ocean. So that's a new experience. À vous la parole.
Good morning. I think we will start with a short video too. So Sabela is a startup based in Brittany, in France, and the company is 100% dedicated to ocean energy. So the target is to harness tidal currents, like on this picture in the Fromber Strait, between some islands on the western coast of France. So the company has developed technology, a tidal turbine. So here is a picture of the turbine quayside before being immersed under the sea on the seabed. It's roughly a 1 megawatt device that is supplying clean, affordable, and predictable energy to communities. And the target of Sabela is to focus on remote areas and off-grid communities currently relying on diesel generators. So the first turbine has been deployed off the western coast of France, grid connected to UNCTAD Island, a small island of 1,000 inhabitants, relying currently 100% on diesel generators and burning more than 2 million liters of fuel per year. After a successful demonstration back in 2015, we are currently working on an ambitious project with Akio Energy, previously mentioned, in order to deploy 2 tidal turbines, 1 wind turbine, and solar panels to make it 100% reliable and to prove an energy model that we will then be able to deploy abroad in many areas all over the world, mainly in developing countries and in remote areas such as Southeast Asia, Northern Canada, Northern Australia. And the technology, as it is on the seabed, you cannot access it easily. So that's the reason why, since the beginning, we tried to develop as simple and as ruggedized as possible technology to make it worked for as long as 10 years without any maintenance and for a lifetime of up to 30 years. So I will be more than happy to discuss over the technology and over our projects later on. Feel free to discuss with us. Thanks.
Thank you. And last but not least, Premium Hortus du Bénin, qui travaille dans l'agroécologie et en particulier dans la commercialisation des produits organiques et la production et le support aux agriculteurs et aux petits producteurs. Je vous en prie. Merci.
Merci. Je suis Johannes Godjanou, manager communicant d'entreprise et j'assure la direction générale de Premium Hortus dont je suis cofondateur. Je suis heureux d'être parmi vous ce matin pour vous parler de ce que c'est. Merci. Merci. En effet, Premium Hortus résout plusieurs problèmes. Et à l'instar de plusieurs pays africains, le Bénin fait face à une croissance rapide de sa population urbaine. En 2017, c'est avec un taux de 46%, et selon les prévisions de la Banque mondiale, d'ici 2020, nous aurons 48% de taux de croissance. Cette croissance s'accompagne d'un fort besoin en produits alimentaires, notamment les fruits, légumes, viande et tout ce qui va avec. Malheureusement, l'agriculture reste encore très conventionnelle avec l'emploi d'importantes quantités d'intrants chimiques. Et nous ne sommes pas sans savoir que ces intrants ont d'impact aussi bien sur le sol, mais aussi sur les eaux et également la santé humaine. Malheureusement, 33% des Béninois des ménages béninois sont en insécurité alimentaire et près de la moitié de nos enfants de moins de 5 ans souffrent de la malnutrition chronique. Ne pouvant pas être toujours insensibles à ce problème, nous sommes un groupe de 5 jeunes cofondateurs qui nous sommes réunis pour innover la première plateforme technologique pour l'agroécologie en Afrique. Premium Hortus s'est spécialisé dans l'e-commerce des produits agroécologiques, la production biologique, mais aussi l'appui aux producteurs. Et comme vous l'aurez déjà remarqué dans la vidéo, Premium Hortus est disponible sous plusieurs formes variées, sous forme d'applications web, sous forme également d'applications mobiles, de big data et d'un système blockchain. Elle permet déjà à plusieurs ménages, aussi bien des restaurants que des hôtels, de se faire livrer tous les produits biologiques qu'ils veulent, à moindre coût et quand ils veulent. Au moyen d'un QR code, Premium Hortus permet déjà à ces différentes cibles de régler leur achat juste à travers une carte Hortus que nous avons innové et dont la vidéo a également fait des précisions. Et nous avons également des appuis aux producteurs. Et pour ce faire, nous disposons non seulement d'une ferme agroécologique, mais aussi des biofertilisants et biopesticides produits localement à base de nos plantes locales ou adventices, mais aussi des appuis pour le management des entreprises pour créer de véritables chaînes de valeur. Premium Hortus a plusieurs impacts et aujourd'hui, nous avons déjà plus de 500 producteurs qui ont été formés et qui bénéficient de nos appuis. En termes de clientèle, nous en avons 700, que ce soit des restaurants, des hôtels, que bien de restaurants. Nous sommes actuellement en phase d'implémentation et actuellement au Maroc suite à notre sélection par l'Institut mondial pour la croissance verte. Et nous implémentons également en ce moment Premium Hortus aussi bien au Sénégal qu'au Togo. Premium Hortus est non seulement une innovation technologique, elle a bel et bien des impacts aussi bien sur l'environnement et à travers un bilan carbone que des experts indépendants nous ont aidés à établir, il revient que Premium Hortus permet une réduction de plus de 46% des émissions de gaz à effet de serre de l'agriculture conventionnelle, mais aussi avec une réduction de plus de 31% de l'énergie durable qu'utilise l'agriculture conventionnelle sous forme de tracteurs, de systèmes d'irrigation et automoteurs. Premium Hortus, au vu de ses impacts socio-économiques, est une source un pourvoyeur d'emploi décent rural parce que à travers nos circuits courts, les petits producteurs ont non seulement accès au marché, mais aussi ont accès à des encadrements qui leur permettent l'amélioration de leurs revenus. Au même moment, les consommateurs ont accès à des produits sains à moindre coût, à coût peu variable, et ce qui constitue de véritables gages pour l'économie locale, mais aussi nationale. Premium Hortus, à travers ses impacts, a été distingué par la FAO comme l'une des meilleures technologies au plan mondial sur l'agroécologie, mais aussi par le World Future Council, une organisation internationale qui nous a également distingués en janvier passé lors du Forum mondial sur l'agriculture et l'alimentation. Premium Hortus, lauréat de Trophée Initiative Climat à la COP 23, est aussi labellisé par Solar Impulse, que nous remercions vivement. Parce que il faut ces genres d'initiatives pour faire connaître ce que nous faisons, améliorer et vraiment passer à l'échelle supérieure. Merci.
Merci à Premium Mortus, merci à chacun d'entre vous pour votre courage, votre dynamisme et bonne route dans vos projets. It will be a little bit late to have a big debate with the room, but I propose that, because after you will have the time to discuss, I propose that our panelists could really very quickly react and say something as concluding, because we have to respect the schedule of the CSTD starting at 10. So we have 5 minutes just in order to react. What is your feeling after this presentation, and how do you want to conclude this event? After that, networking is possible between all of us. So, Akaliza, you want to start?
Thank you very much for your amazing presentations. It was really wonderful to see how many unique solutions people came up with that are helping the developing world, and I wish you all success.
Thank you, Mr. the Minister.
Thank you very much for those great presentations. And it is my hope as a government minister that you could get support, from respective, governments. Because sometimes it takes too long for us to gain confidence, from the new products in the market, especially from startups. So I think it's a question that we should all ask ourselves, that if we don't support startups and allow them to test their products using our own markets, who else do you expect to test this product? So these are great products that need to be supported within the market and within the globe generally. And I wish we could interact more in this and share more ideas on how we could partner, because some of the presentations done here, even from my country, we need such technologies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What you have heard in the last half an hour is a very, very small sample of what exists in the world as new solutions, which means that each time you hear people who say, we cannot protect the environment, we cannot fight climate change, we cannot change anything in our lifestyle, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. The main problem today is the wish of a lot of people to continue in the future exactly the same mistakes they have done in the past. And you have a lot of people who just want to continue business as usual before they are retiring. They want to have their stock options without any innovation. Just do the same as they have always done. The fear of change, the lack of imagination, maybe even sometimes a bit of stupidity.
No,
and this is what is destroying the world. It is not mean people who are destroying the world. It is stupid people who are destroying the world. So we need clever entrepreneurs, clever investors, clever politicians, clever industrials, all these people who understand that if we want a better quality of life on Earth, we have to diversify. We have to introduce new solutions, new innovations, new technologies for water, for energy, for mobility, for constructions, for industry, for agriculture. We need all this. And when we can prove that these solutions exist, when we can prove that they are profitable, then it will be easier to convince the lazy people or the stupid people or the selfish people to change. This is why what you hear today, this is life-changing. It is world-changing. It changes state of minds. It's a huge leverage. And when we see all these solutions, it gives hope. because it is the proof that we can do much more and much faster than what is done today.
Thank you, Bertrand. And we have in the room 3 ambassadors. We have the Belgian ambassador, we have the Lebanese ambassador, and the ambassador of Central Africa. So I would like to ask you spontaneously, how do you react as ambassador with this presentation, briefly, and then we will network. So, Mr. Mail, you start?
Well, I will react very optimistically after this presentation and this debate. It gives a new impetus to us all to work together and join forces in a non-conventional way. So thank you for organizing this event.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, DSG, for organizing this event and for inviting us. I feel really privileged and humble to see this kind of intelligence working, and I feel heartened that we have all these initiatives. But I think, like Mr. Piccard said at some point in his first intervention, the role of the governments is still of essence and is still very important in order to catalyze all these initiatives and to provide ground in terms of legislations, in terms of regulations, etc., for all these startups to come up to the under the limelight and to start working and helping in salvaging the environment and working towards the SDGs. So thank you very much.
Merci Isabelle, merci Monsieur Piccard, merci tous les panélistes. C'est pour nous une opportunité que nous devons saisir. Et comme je vous disais tout à l'heure en off, quand les yeux regardent un fruit, il peut le regarder aussi longtemps que possible, mais il ne le cueillera jamais. C'est l'occasion pour nous justement de constater que ces fruits sont là. Vous nous donnez les moyens de le cueillir et nous allons le cueillir dans l'intérêt bien compris de nos États qui sont suffisamment fragiles. Et je ne terminerai pas sans remercier et féliciter mon frère du Bénin. C'est vraiment un exemple qui doit être vulgarisé pour notre continent, l'Afrique. Encore une fois, merci pour l'initiative. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Et pour finir, je donne la parole à l'ambassadeur de Djibouti.
Merci beaucoup. Et merci à M. Piccard et à M. le ministre et à tous les panélistes. Je pense que c'est rafraîchissant d'avoir ce genre de session ici au Palais des Nations, de voir les représentants des startups et les États membres échanger dans un tel cadre et surtout porter le même message qui est celui de savoir que les technologies peuvent être à la disposition et au service du développement durable et pas l'inverse, qu'on ne recherche pas la technologie juste pour plus de profit et pour détruire la planète. Et c'est un message rafraîchissant. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Madame l'ambassadeur. And then to close, I would like that you know that UNCTAD, UN globally, we are there in order to organize this kind of matching between private sector, startups, civil society, academia, but also, of course, government and ambassador representing the government. So we are there to do that. I hope that this event will help you to go further to this kind of partnership, this kind of meeting, because we are completely convinced that it's our role to do that, and it's your role to get into the partnership in order to do better. So it was suggested by Bertrand Piccard. So I thank you for that, and for those who want to join the CSTV, we start at 10, so we are close in the schedule. I thank you, and I wish you a very interesting